What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy Amp Dog with another episode of Politickin. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, showing your love, and make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Big Amp Dog said, what's the deal? And today, we got a crazy story. Well, it's kind of old. I was going to talk about this when I first heard about it, but I'm glad I waited, you know. So, this person right here is Hannah Tubbs, who back in 2014 um, molested a 10-year-old girl in a bathroom at Denny's. Now, when Hannah Tubbs was 17, he was known as James Tubbs. Now that is okay. People nowadays are transitioning and you know identifying with what they identify with. Now this situation is a little tricky because uh, Gascon, Los Angeles County District Attorney, has pretty much changed the policies, if you will, to where he basically wanted to get rid of any um, juvenile convictions or basically juveniles going into adult prisons and things like that. Um, a bunch of other things, and so far he's up for a recall. Um, Well, they're trying to get him recalled at this exact moment. But the point of this whole situation is James Tubbs, which is who I'm gonna refer to him as, just due to the fact that they do have jailhouse phone calls between him and his father, um, where he's basically bragging about the benefit of claiming or identifying as a transgender woman as opposed to being who he was, birthed as, if you will. So he was not tried or convicted during his juvenile years, but as an adult. So nevertheless, they're still charging him as a juvenile. So he's only sentenced to serve 2 years in a juvenile detention center. And he's 26 now. Um, the phone calls are kind of crazy. So basically, this is an excerpt that was reported by Fox News initially. Um, They have explicit Los Angeles jailhouse recordings of Hannah Tubbs, the 26-year-old trans child molester who received a slap on the wrist last month after pleading guilty to molesting a 10-year-old in 2014. Depict her admitting it was wrong to attack a little girl but gloating over the light punishment. She boasted that nothing would happen to her after she pleaded guilty due to Democrat District Attorney George Gascon's policies and laughed that she won't have to go back to prison or register as a sex offender. She also made explicit remarks about the victim that they say are unfit to print. So this is the transcripts right here. This is Tubbs. I'm going to plead out to it, plead guilty, Tubbs says in one recording. They're going to stick me on probation and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be done. I won't have to register, won't have to do nothing. You won't have to register, her father says. So the father, just like most of us, is like, hold on, so you got convicted of this, but they not gonna what? They ain't not gonna make you register. She says, Tubbs replies, no, I won't have to do none of that. So the father says, so what are they gonna do to you then? Tubbs answers, nothing, and then laughs. So Tubbs pleaded guilty last month to the cold case attack, which took place in a women's restroom at Denny's restaurant when the suspect was 2 weeks shy of 18 and identified as a male named James Tubbs. After being roughly 8 years after the crime, Tubbs began identifying as a woman. Again, I say there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that at all. We accept everybody. It's about the heart in people, the good in people. In this case, we got a situation where this is not such a good look on the trans community, if you will. Um, so she received the sentence of 2 years because Gascon's office declined to transfer the case to adult court, adhering to one of the progressive prosecutors' day one directives barring children from being tried as adults. She could serve little as 6 months and won't have to register as a sex offender. Tubbs' victim, who was 10 at the time of the attack, told Fox News Digital that Gascon's handling of the case has been insulting and unfair to her. She says, "The things he did to me made me do that day was beyond horrible for a 10-year-old girl to have to go through," she said. "I want him tried as an adult for the crimes he committed against me." She said the light sentence was offensive and hurtful and offered her no true justice. She says this is the bar right here. She says, "I've also heard that my attacker goes by she, them pronouns now." She added, "I see it also unfair to try him as a woman as well, seeing how he clearly didn't act like one on January 1st of 2014. That's like, that's a hammer to the head. You feel me? Because that's a bar. Straight facts. In one of the calls, Tubbs asked the caller to start using female pronouns. So this is what Tubbs says on the phone call. "So now they're going to put me with other trannies that have seen their cases like mine, or with one tranny like me that has a case like mine," Tubbs says. "So when you come to court, make sure you address me as her." Then she says if she goes to prison, she's getting a sex change surgery so she can go into the women's facility. And the other person says there's some B's in there too. I'm not sure what that B word is because they kind of bleeped it out. Um, Gascon had publicly has been shamed, basically for his horrible handling of this case. And so the issue with Gascon comes, I seen an interview with somebody that's either right up under him or something. They basically said he's lying because once these recordings came out, like I said, Fox News, they the one who first reported them. Once they came out, um, he then tried to say he didn't have any knowledge of this, and had he had knowledge of it, he would have handled the case differently. Now this is one of them things where I say I get progressiveness and trying to push society to a different place, but at the same time, we can't forget that right is right, wrong is wrong, good is good, bad is bad. We can't forget that. So no matter if this person 8 years after the fact started to identify as a woman, which I just feel like, as we can hear through the phone calls, this is just something to get out of jail. This is my free get out of jail free card. I won't have to register, won't have to do any of that. I could get away with what I did to this innocent 10-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? And hey, that's it. Like, I'll even get a sex change if they do send me to prison. So it's things like that make it hard to, you know, feel for that I guess what he or she was identifying as, because you all want to be empathetic, but at the same time, if you're going to use it for them type of purposes, that's where I think we got to slow down with the trying to push certain agendas and things like that out there to the societies and the communities. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people are taking advantage of the new policies and things that's coming along. So I think when we go to making decisions like this, as far as law and allowing people to just say that they identify as whatever, then that's what it is. We got to be able to put some type of due diligence into really seeing what's going on. And so Gascon's getting in trouble because he didn't do any due diligence. He didn't take a look at the entire file, because they say had he did, he would have heard those recordings. And maybe he did hear the recordings and just thought, hey, nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. Yeah, we know. So that's the thing. So um I think this person need to be tried as a man. Um, and I tried to look at, updated photos, but this is the photo I believe was the mugshot. You know what I'm saying? Of him being arrested. So I mean, I get it. You know, you feel who you are. You are who you feel. You are you. I get that. But at the same time, you are a sick person that needs to be, taken, handled in the way that most people in your situation would be handled. You know, the slap on the wrist, the fact that you were just so cocky enough, that was a male bravado right there. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that he was saying on the phone, that was a male bravado. You feel me? Like I'm just gonna plead out to it. I'm gonna plead guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna stick me on probation and it's gonna be dropped. Like a real woman, if you identify as such, will have a little bit more of empathy, sympathy, a little bit, for what you've done. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you may understand that yeah, what I did was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It was bad to do that to that young girl, but the fact that you carry yourself like this after the fact is what kind of like alarms me. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think Gascon's correct? Like, yeah, go ahead and charge him, her, or them as a juvenile. Get 6 months to 2 years and then be out. No registering of a sex offender, because he identifies as a woman and threatens to get a sex change if he's put in prison, doesn't mean that you can't still have that predatory mentality. And although people don't want to speak on it, but that predatory mentality is a glitch in your brain. It's a mental illness. It's a mental lapse, because it's nothing right about wanting to take advantage or touch somebody, or push somebody against their will to do something that they don't want to do. Like, that's something like mentally wrong with you. So I think they need to factor that in as well. But anyway, man, y'all like, share, subscribe, drop y'all comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Did they get it right or did they get it wrong? I say they got it wrong, and it's being blown up in their face. So whatever agendas that they were trying to push, whatever groups that they were working with or alliance with, yeah, I hope you all can stand up and take the accountability, the same way that you guys were willing to, go hard in the paint for this person right here, for they rights as a human, so you guys would say. But anyway, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Big M Dog said, what's the deal? Long live my little brother Reek. Peace.